This is lesson 4.5a. We are going to be solving equations with decimals. So we're going to start by looking at example 3 here. It says Molly bought these oranges for $7.15. She paid the same amount for each orange. Write and solve an equation to find M, the cost of each orange. So we will be finding the cost of each orange. We also know the total cost for all of the oranges. Now I'm kind of wondering, how many oranges did Molly buy? And we can find that information by looking at the picture of the oranges or by counting and seeing how many M's there are in the bar diagram. So how many oranges did Molly buy? Molly bought 13 oranges. So that's going to be an important piece of information that we'll need in our equation that we had to figure out by the picture. So I see that there are 13 M's here. And the total cost is $7.15. So if we go to a store and we're buying oranges, I'm buying 1 orange, it costs M. I'm buying 2 oranges, it would cost 2M. Well, I'm buying 13 oranges, that would cost 13M. So what operation will we have to be doing with the price of the oranges and the number of oranges that we have? We will have to be multiplying here. 13M. So we have 13 oranges times the cost of each orange, and that's going to equal $7.15. So now we have an equation here with a decimal, and our goal is to solve for M. So I'm still going to start by drawing a dotted line down the middle where my equal sign is. I'm going to circle the M. Our goal is to get M alone. So how am I going to get that M alone? Well, I look to see what's with the M. 13 is with the M. Let's get rid of the 13. So 13M is multiplication. I have to do the opposite, division. I'm going to divide both sides by 13. So now let's look at that left side of the equation. 13 divided by 13 would be 1. I'm left with M. And what does M equal? M equals $7.15 divided by 13. Put it in your calculator. What does M equal? M equals 55 cents each. So that means that the cost of each orange was 55 cents. Now let's try this try it question down here. It says Molly also buys a bag of 8 apples for $3.60. Write and solve an equation to find out Molly paid for each apple. So she's buying 8 apples, and the total cost for those 8 apples is $3.60. So my total is going to be, at the end of my equation, what it equals, $3.60. So she's buying 8 apples. We don't know how much each apple is, but we know the total is $3.60. So what operation do you think we'll have to do with those 8 apples and the cost of 1 apple? We would have to multiply. We would have to say 8 times A. I'm saying that A is the cost for each apple, is going to equal $3.60. So again, my procedures here are the same. Draw a dotted line down the middle. Circle my variable. My goal is to get A alone. Well, how do I get A alone? We're going to divide both sides by 8. 8 divided by 8 cancels out, and then A will equal, let's see, $3.60 divided by 8 is 45 cents each. So each apple is 45 cents. Okay, now let's look at example 4. The directions say use inverse relationships to solve each equation. So question A says M plus 5 and 43 hundredths equals 9 and 28 hundredths. Okay, so I always start by drawing a dotted line where I see my equation, my equal sign. Then let's circle the variable. So I look to see what is with that variable. Plus 5.43 is with the variable. How do we get rid of the addition? We're going to subtract both sides by 5.43. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. Making sure that we're copying it very carefully. So now I'm going to evaluate that left side. Plus 5.43 minus 5.43 cancel. What remains on that left side? M. What does M equal? M equals, well, I'm going to evaluate that right side from top to bottom. 9.28 minus 5.43 is 3.85. And I can check it by plugging it back into the calculator. 3.85 plus 5.43 equals my 9.28. Check. Now let's try B. B is y minus 6.2 equals 2.9. So let's solve for y. Draw a dotted line down the middle. Circle for y. Our goal is to get y alone. So what does y equal? Well, I'm going to plus 6.2 to both sides. Minus 6.2 plus 6.2 is going to equal 0. So all that remains on the left is y. And what does y equal? Y equals 9.1. And if I plug it in to check it, it does check. And let's try C. So I rewrote that division equation using the fraction line. X divided by 2 5/10 equals 40. So I'm going to, again, draw a dotted line down the middle. Circle the X because my goal is to get the X alone. Well, I look to see what's with the X. What's with the X? Divided by 2.5. In order to get rid of divided by 2.5, we're going to multiply times 2.5. Well, whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. Times 2.5 divided by 2.5 cancel. That leaves us with X. And what does X equal? X equals 40 times 2.5, which is 100. And let's check it. 100 divided by 2.5 is 40, so it checks. The last question I want us to look at is this try it. Carmen spent $12.50 for a new notebook and a compass. The notebook cost $6.35. Write and solve an equation to find C, the cost of the compass. So when I think about someone buying a notebook and buying a compass, I know that we're going to have the cost of the notebook. And if I'm buying two things, we want to find the total cost. What operation would we be doing? We would be adding. So we'd be adding the cost of the notebook plus the cost of the compass, and it's going to equal the total cost. So let's see what information they gave us in the word problem. They said that Carmen spent $12.50 for a new notebook and a compass. So what do you think the $12.50 is? I think that $12.50 is the total cost. So our total cost is 12.5. The notebook cost $6.35. Well, that's our N, the notebook. $6.35 plus C. That's what we're finding out, the cost of the compass. Write and solve an equation to find C, the cost of the compass. Well, look, we already did one step of it. We wrote our equation. So now let's solve it. Draw a dotted line down the middle. Circle C. Our goal is to get C alone. Well, I have a 6.35 here with C. Is that a plus 6.35 or a minus 6.35? It is a plus. So you will have to do the opposite of plus there to find the value for C. What is C? So I'm going to subtract $6.35 from both sides, and then C is going to equal $6.15. Let's plug it back into the equation. $6.35 plus $6.15 equals $12.50. So it checks.